Hi, and welcome to Trans-Norge, a podcast made by the Norwegian Patient Organization for Gender Incongruence. So, are we humans or are we dancers? What power lies in seeing trans bodies on stage? And what power lies in moving together or alone with other trans bodies? These are some of the questions you will get the answer to in this episode of Trans-Norge. Please tell the people who listen to the podcast who you are.
Hello, my name is Daniel Mariblanca. I am originally from Barcelona, but I have been living in Bergen since 2016. I am a dancer, a choreographer, and the artistic director of 71Bodies.
Cool. What pronouns do you use?
He and him.
Cool. Yeah, you're like casually saying like I'm a dancer, but you're like one of the world's best dancers. You are. Yeah, I've seen you dance and it's amazing. So everyone who out there should watch you dance.
I think dance is our primal language. I mean, we dance before we talk. So I think dancing is just a natural part of being human. And then we grow up, and then some people stop dancing, unfortunately. But I was lucky enough to understand how important was for me dancing. So I started to dance in my room, but then I started dancing in the school, and then I became a professional dancer.
Cool. And you also happen to be trans, and you do some quite cool activism through your art. And the first time I met you, you were doing some activism, political work meets dancing and art. Can you talk about just how you came to be like a political dancer? Because I think you are. Do you identify as a political dancer?
I don't define myself in those terms, but I can understand that some people might see it this way. Was in 2017 when we met the first time in Oslo. And at that moment we were doing the research of 71Bodies, 1dance. And actually that weekend was the very first, was the starting of the project. And I was traveling with Marcy Job, the photographer artist that unfortunately passed away last year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Ursula Kaufmann, which is the filmmaker, and I have been working with her since. So yeah, we were really excited. This experience was unforgettable because we were in this hotel room where we slept, we eat, and we did the work. We had a very squeezed budget, so we were doing everything, as we could, learning by doing. And then I remember that you came the second day. We were there for 2 days. And the first person that we interviewed was Christer Andre. And then we had some others. And then I remember that you came the second day. And and this was the beginning of 71Bodies, 1dance. And also throughout that project, 71Bodies, the company was born.
Yeah. I remember this and I was like, this is so strange. I'm in a hotel room with some people I don't know talking about being trans and having a body, I guess. And I was not aware what I was part of, kind of. And then 71Bodies become like a project that just grew and grew. Can you talk about 71Bodies? What is it? And what did it start out as and what is it now?
Yeah, I mean, 71Bodies, 1dance was, of course, a work that was in line with my gender transition. So at that moment, for me, it was very important to surround myself with transgender people and exchange knowledge, exchange experience, gain new language to articulate myself and to understand better what was happening inside. So for me, it was very urgent, very needed to be alone and to understand things, but also to create throughout this artistic work a sense of community and connection. And then, of course, I had a really good team with Mar and Ursula, and then my idea was pretty much to talk about on the stage, to talk about my experience as a transgender person and the initiation of this transition. And this is why I was alone on the stage. But I also wanted to share and show how diverse is the transgender collective, and how every person has different ways to formalize or to express their gender identity, and then the complexities of gender expression and sexual orientation, and how this is an infinite resource of inspiration. So this is why I based the work in 71 transgender people, because I wanted to show the brutal diversity that exists on us. And then, of course, took me 2 years to realize this project. And then after this huge birth, I felt so inspired by the meetings with people, the talks, the things that we share. And then I was thinking, oh my God, I want to create a work that is only with transgender people on the stage. Because I have been a professional dancer for now more than 15 years, and I have been dancing for more than half of my life. I'm 41 now. Mm-hmm. And I have been always the only transgender person in the company, in the different companies. So I felt the need to do a work being the majority on the stage. Mm-hmm. And then I chose some people that I met during this, that was part of the 71 protagonists. And also I met new people. So then, in the end, we were 11 people on the stage. 9 of them transgender people, and 2 others that they have a very fluid relationship with sexuality and gender identity. And it was amazing in first person. And then this was a moment where I understood the great potential of myself, but also the company, pretty much. Mm-hmm. That I of myself as a creator, not just as a dancer, but as a creator, and inspired me so much to create not just one project, the next project, but more to create a full vision, thinking more in medium and long term. Mm-hmm. And then, meanwhile, I was realizing this. I was creating the work Normal, which is a work about with people with physical disabilities and transgender people. Mm-hmm. And my wish was to emphasize on the importance on creating allyship. So to get in contact with other communities that struggle with similar situations, like our body is put in question, mm-hmm. is sometimes a debate, is completely stigmatized in front of some institutions. So then I wanted to create this link between people with disabilities and transgender people, and then talk about sexuality, which I think is in general quite taboo. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the sexuality of trans people and people with disabilities, it's even harder. And I wanted to create this journey that is about desire and about beauty and about erotism that has nothing to do with this mainstream idea of what is sexy, what is hot, what is desirable, and who. And then, of course, and then after this, we received the big support from Culturode. Mm. So we could create we are on our way to create this very professional structure organization that allowed us to think a bit bigger and a bit wider, and continues going deep in our interest, which is pretty much based in personal stories. It's about inviting the people at the center to our margins, mm-hmm. and show them how much beautiful there is in our experiences, in our journeys, and then create art multidisciplinary art with dance at the center, to inspire any type of body, because in the end, this is what we want, to create something very specific and very unique from our transgender experience or from our non-normative bodies, but that this is universal enough for everybody to mirror themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's inclusive with people that maybe doesn't belong to any minority, so doesn't have this understanding, but still they can recognize themselves in some way or another.
Yeah, recognizing yourself in someone who's on stage or in art, I think that's very important. And I remember, like, this one time I saw you dancing naked on a stage, and I was like, oh my god, there's actually like a naked trans man on stage doing just having a body, and having a body in a very beautiful way, like artistically beautiful, but also it's very powerful. Like, oh my god, I nearly never ever see trans bodies anywhere. So it's, you don't identify as a political artist or dancer, but it's like having a body that is trans or disabled or anything. It's kind of political in itself in this world, I think, maybe.
I mean, personal is political, right?
Yeah.
Like, we live in a society and our body is classified or put in a box in relationship with our multiple identities. So, of course, in the moment that we start, for example, now, I'm going to use the opportunity to talk about a true story. Which is our latest work.
Yeah.
And now, on the 7th of September, we will start the performances. We will perform 8 times. And a true story is about huge topics. It's about family. It's about belonging. It's about generational perspective. It's about freedom. It's about basic things like being embraced by your tribe. So, I think this is something that everybody can relate with, right? Parents and kids. You don't need to be trans to understand that.
Yeah.
But when you see parents talking about like how important it is to listen to your child when they are talking and they are expressing important things, this should resonate to everyone in one way or another.
Yeah.
And then of course we have a lot of complexities in the production, because the age is from 8 to 85. So we are also bringing old people on the stage, which old people is pretty much removed from the productive society. And then giving a space and visibility to someone that has accumulated so much knowledge, 85 years, my God. But also seeing someone that is able to be updated. So sometimes we think we are condescending with old generations, like, oh, they will not understand that. No, they can understand it, and they can also be part of our allies. And like this with many different things. But like this production, we are 17 people on the stage, and everybody in one way or another are dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to say, I like to talk about them not as a performers, but more like protagonists, because they are pretty much expressing their life in an artistic context, of course, with dramaturgy, with the strict rehearsals, but at the same time having a script that is pretty much all about them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also like bringing the reality and the richness of life into a fictional and creative space. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, no. It's a bit arty, but you do art. That's like kind of...
Yes.
Yeah. And it sounds really beautiful. I think it's going to be... Yeah, I think it's going to be beautiful. Like earlier, you said that you had this experience of being the only trans person on stage, and now you have a lot of experience being part of a group of trans people on stage, but who might not be professional dancers as you are. How can you just talk a little bit how it felt back in the days when you were like the only trans person, and how it feels now when you're like part of a group? Or
when I transitioned was in 2016, so it was after being a few months in in the company that I was working before, Carte Blanche.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit harsh because it was easy because everybody accepted. My director, of course, accepted, and my contract got extended, and all my colleagues call me by my name and my pronouns. So, but I didn't have really like this connection with someone else that is living the same reality. This is why for me it was so important to do 71Bodies, 1dance, and be surrounded by or look for these connections. So, but at the same time, was this solitude was very important for me as well, to really like listen inside and listen. Okay, I'm doing this because it's part of me, or is because I wanted to. I don't want others to doubt about me being a man or my masculinity. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot of those moments where, is this me constructing the man I am? Mm-hmm. Or is me trying to fit in? Or it's really how I am? So this was a very interesting internal dialogue that I had with myself. And of course, when I was able to, because all these groups I created myself, I put people together. And this is big part of my job, to put the right people together to create this collective force. Mm-hmm. So then it's impressive how much relief we feel when we are in a table and we can talk about our things without feeling that we are taking extra space, or that this topic is, we already spoke about this. But actually all of those important things are part of the day conversation. And this was a great experience in all the productions. So because in all the productions I managed to have the majority being queer or trans, and then few cisgender people here and there, but cisgender people that are allies, or cisgender people that are willing to learn. Mm-hmm. So then obviously it became a really safe space to work on. So then when we expose ourselves, we are doing it in a very supportive environment. So we are exposed and we take risk, but always with a very like solid ground under our feet. If this makes sense. Yeah, I think this makes sense. And then I don't, when I make a group, I never measure the level of professionalism. The thing is that the most important for me is the story, and also the willingness to be able to share it. Mm-hmm. And also the willingness to be able to go through an artistic process that will be demanding, that will be harsh, that will be challenging, but we need to agree that this is our deal, and then that we are really proud to be visible, and then we will go through all of this. So this is, for me, more important than if you are professional or not. Mm-hmm. Because, I think for me, being a professional is not... So being a professional dancer is not the goal, but it's using what I learned from dance to express something that is really important. Mm-hmm. So it's a tool, it's not the goal, let's say.
I get it, yeah. You were dancing kind of through your transition, and how did transitioning like affect your dancing? Because it's like doing dance is a very bodily thing. You use your body, and then you have this body who's kind of changing. Mm-hmm. How did it feel? Are you the same dancer? Do you dance differently now?
I mean, if you dance, I have been dancing every day.
Yeah, good.
For the past 20 years. So, in a way, like in every rehearsal, in every session of dance, like you discover new things. So I think that I have more tools, and my dance has been enriched by the years of practice. And being trans for me, like when I start my transition, I felt was a really beautiful moment where my personal identity and the urgency of expressing this important thing, and my level of dance, so my professional level was matching. So I had the skills and I had the urgency. So then was this cocktail Molotov combination, and I use it as a force to create all the works. So this, together with like to find meaning to what you do, is make you more free and more meaningful. And then in the beginning, I started really like. The first project, I was thinking about myself, and I was quite self-centered because it was so big what was happening inside. But then I calmed down a bit, and then I was able also to then look outside and see the beauty of other stories and then work it out artistically. So yeah, like the biggest change was with myself, but also like being able to look at the world with this whole new perspective.
It sounds like a very kind of like a little bit of a typical transitioning story, if you know what I mean. It's like, I think that a lot of trans people, when we transition medically or socially or both, it's like, it's this journey inwards in a way that's like, you get a little bit self-centered because there's so many things happening inside of yourself. And then after a while you get to settle in the world in a way that makes you, be able to see the beauty around you and other people in a new and maybe fascinating way. At least that resonated with me. I was like, that felt like what a transitioning was like for me. I was very self-centered, and now I'm like, less so, I hope.
I mean, I'm really self-centered with my artistry because the work I do is my life. And I mean, it is hard for me to focus on other things, but like the productions are not just about myself. Like, I'm taking care now. I am, the papa of 20 people, and I am doing like this with all these different personalities and different journeys. So this is really nice, like being able to inspire others, to be a good reference for others, and to lift up others. And this is something that I feel really strongly in this production, A True Story, because I am working with young people, and I can see like how important it is to see older trans people that are strong, and not strong in the sense muscular strong, but like happy and uplifted and and also like help them to shine and to grow and to give some advice if they need it. And I feel a lot of pleasure with this. And then this is part of the research and this is part of the production. So this personal connection is what makes the pieces be what they are. Like, but I mean, I always say that, like, for me, I never hated my body, like, and maybe this is why my transition arrived so late, when I was 34, because I could liberate myself from a lot of bullshit throughout dance. So, and also I didn't want it to put in danger my career. I had so much fear that I will need to spend so much time in the hospital or in the administration. So I wanted to focus in dance and achieve this important thing. And then when I felt a little bit settled, I was like, okay, this is still, very present on me. And then I found people that helped me to articulate it. And then everything opened.
Yeah.
Yes, beautifully. Yeah.
It sounds beautiful. Yeah, because it's, of course. I don't know if you agree with me, but I feel like when we transitioned, or like the trans community and the narratives that were told like 10 years ago, they were more focused on like this feeling of being dysphoric or not liking your body, and this whole like being born in the wrong body narrative was very present. And I think that because me, as you maybe, I did not hate my body, and then I had like a period where it was quite difficult, but I never did that, and I thought it was essential to the trans experience to have this complicated relationship with your body. And I feel that it's less so now, that more people are doing this trans joy thing, where it's like you're allowed to be trans without having to hate your body, or and you can choose to change it too, just because you want to, and it makes you happier or it's more fun, but it doesn't have to come from a place of hate or feeling miserable. Yeah.
See, I also feel that now there is a bit more awareness, so now we can blame not in ourselves, but we can identify cisgender privilege, normative bodies, and how, like, removing being trans from like pathological reports in a way is kind of opening eyes that our body is not wrong. Like, what is wrong is the idea of what a normative body is. So then I think that, for example, the big difference that I feel with, for example, the two trans kids that are in the production, is that they are so free. Like, they are liberated from many prejudices that I could have myself as a kid or as a grown-up. But I think this liberation and this freedom comes a lot from their parents, their moms, because the moms are doing the hard work of making sure that in the school they are treated properly, making sure that in the doctor they are treated properly, making sure that, they create awareness in the family, in the society, in the closest society they live. So I think that, like the moms that are now 35 or 30, 40, 50, and they are doing a really important groundwork on naturalizing and make it open the path for their kids, which is something that perhaps maybe 20 years ago was impossible to think, that the mom of a kid of 5 years old will go to the teacher and will say, hey, this needs to change now, and not accepting that this will not change. I think this is a huge difference on the sense of naturalizing yourself as a trans person.
Yeah.
But if you don't have this support from your parents, then I think that dysphoria and all of those, depression, suicidal thoughts, all of these will have more chance to exist, even though we are now more progressive. But I think, like the big one of the most important things for me is like what happens at home, inside doors.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, of course, it doesn't matter if you have these progressive laws and there's trans people on the TV, if you're being misgendered aggressively inside your home every day, you're going to feel miserable. But I always, when I talk to parents who are like trying to support their kids, they feel very frightened of this big world that is not treating trans people right. But it's also the thing I always tell parents, and I think that that is a good thing, is that children's worlds are quite small. So it's actually, as a parent, you can actually do quite a lot if you talk to the close family and you talk to the school and you do, you can make that child feel like the whole world is very accepting towards trans people. And a lot of the world is, but there's also some really mean people out there, of course. And trans people are being discriminated against, but you can protect your child from that. And I think that, as you said, that will give you a freedom and a confidence that will probably make it easier to face the discrimination that you are going to face at some point in your life.
Totally. 4 of the 5 moms that are in the production of A True Story work for, initiate an organization, really important organization in Spain, Euphoria, which is about educating the parents or giving advice to parents with transgender kids. So they have different events where they give lectures and they give the necessary tools to navigate the day life. So I think that, those moms are not just supporting the trans kids, but those moms became real activists. This is why when people call me like activist or political, and then I see the work that and those activists are doing, I am like, wait. I am more like creating artwork, and yeah, perhaps it's political, perhaps contain activism, but yeah, you know what I mean. There is a big difference. Is being activist is a lifestyle, and when I see those moms, the work they are doing every day, year after year, it's insane.
Yeah, but it's not a competition, You like feeding the revolution is also part of the revolution, and dancing the revolution is part of the revolution. It's like, and we all contribute, and to a certain degree, it's just political to have a trans body and choose to exist and be visible in this world. But I get it. It's like, it's very.
But what I like, like I gained so much in a way. Like I felt really like honored that one of the moms, Saida, she said that she never expected that an artwork could be so relevant. And actually, she says that throughout this project, A True Story, she understood the power, the transformative power that a dance performance can have, but for her daughter, but also for the broader audience. So for me, this was a great compliment, one of the best compliments, because yeah, like maybe her life is so stressful and so rigid in some ways, because it's a fight after a fight, a fight after a fight, with very narrow mind people. So then that she find the value on art as a way to liberate yourself, this is like, yeah, success.
Yeah. So how do you see art as a liberating project? How is art a part of changing the world?
I think for me, what I do is to create spaces where people can express themselves. And sounds simple, but it's not. Really, like where you can really have a process to confront your own fears, for example. This is why I invite family in this project, because I wanted to give, obviously, space to the transgender people, but also space to the family members, because they carry all this weight. So art is serving the purpose of healing and being able to take a personal story and to transform it into, an artistic and political event where everybody can participate and experience it. So our art is in front, is transformative. We are able to create our own codes and our own rules, and allowed our fantasy and fiction and projection of potential futures. And this is also creating reality. So when you are able to imagine and project, you are able to create it for real. So yeah, it's for me one of the most effective ways of not only changing here, but changing like from inside.
I agree. Yeah, but I do. I think it's, and I think that to me, I didn't start out my activism as being into art. I was very like, activism is writing articles and being like making an argument and convincing the world and making new laws. But I've come to realize that art is very important, like having this picture of a life you could live on a screen or on a stage, or just expressing yourself and being with other people and being part of something bigger that is not political in the way a discussion or a news article is. It's that's very valuable.
So when we face some sort of hostility in our daily life, like we react, right? There is some sort of like impulse that make you react to this aggression, microaggression, macroaggression, whatever. But then for me, when we create artwork, I try to remove reaction. So I try to create time and a space where we don't have to be defensive and we don't have to react fast or slow, it doesn't matter, but a place where we can think and understand. And then from there to create something. So I think also this is a very different approach of transforming. So it's not transforming like this, but it's transforming throughout reflection and throughout the translation into to abstract something very mundane and real and ugly into something that you can empower and liberate yourself. So you have a process so that you empower the thing. You are not anymore a victim, but you became like, not a survivor, but you empower this painful thing. So then you go to the next level, whatever this is. And I think this is exactly the transformative part of creating art, that this process and this translation. And I see, these are not just words, I see it in every production with every individual in their own way, how they became stronger in themselves after every process.
I really look forward to seeing this. It's gonna be great. Cool. So what is your next project? Do you have it, or what's happening in the future?
Yeah.
What do you want to make if you had like all the money in the world?
No, I don't need all the money in the world. I just need a bit of money. But now we have it. So now there are maybe 4 new projects coming.
Okay.
See, one is going to be, we call it International Curatorial Program. And it's me expanding my role as a choreographer and dancer into more curational work. But in Bergen, it's going to be, my curational work is more going to be in the direction of being part of the artistic process, and then creating the dramaturgy of the event. And this is going to happen in Bergen in October. I have invited 2 Mexican artists, and one artist is from Bergen, but originally from Iran. And it's a lot about, it's related with performance and extreme performance. So I'm going to some other world. I want to continue expanding the knowledge, or what dance can be, what is dance, and how we can expand this knowledge of what dance can be, or body expression. And those artists are, one is a trans man called Maria, and they work a lot with how to create physical practices that help you to relieve and to heal some very traumatic events that happens in life throughout a very extreme practice, and then how pain can be a relief for this trauma. I found this super exciting, and then this is going to happen in October 2023, and then in 2024 we will premiere the new work of 71Bodies. We will do an international curatorial program in Oslo, and then we will also premiere a commission work in Trondheim, and then we will start the new work for 2025.
Cool. So if we want to be like updated on what's coming and where to see you and where we can enjoy your art, where do we follow you? Do you have an Instagram? Do you have a web page? Where are you?
See, social media, Instagram, Facebook, and then our website.
Yeah, which is
71bodies.com.
Okay, and what's your Instagram? What is it called? Hashtag? No, it's called handle or whatever. Yeah, what's it?
71Bodies.
Okay.
Sí, Daniel Mariblanca.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Easy.
Is there anything more you want to say to our lovely audience, which consists of mostly trans people or people who are very great allies?
I just wanted to say thank you for listening, And if you are a trans person and you feel like you have a strong wish to use art as a way to, to process some parts of your life, and you feel that 71 Bodies is interesting, just send me a message and we can have a coffee and we can talk. I love to meet new people. I love to work with, I like longevity, working with people, but I also like to meet new people. So yeah, if what you listen is interesting for you, and you want to be part of one of the productions, one of the projects, just send me a message.
You're gonna like have 100 emails in your inbox now being like, I want to do the dance. Thank you for coming to the podcast. It was really nice meeting you again. And I really look forward to seeing more of your art and the stuff you do. Yeah.
Thank you, Luca, for inviting me. And,
thank you.
Super excited that you are coming finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, to experience a true story, and and then after we can exchange some thoughts.
Yeah, cool. I look forward to it. Thanks for joining us today, and please do follow us on Instagram, trans.norge and pki.norge. And thanks to everyone who makes this podcast possible, and for you, the listener.